hazards of using pesticides. Rachel Carson in 1960 wrote a book called Silent Spring in which she made a great mark about the hazards of pesticides. Due to the usage of pesticides, their constituents get into the bodies of microscopic animals and plants in the soil and water. When fish consume these microscopic plants and animals, the pesticides enter into their bodies. Though the fish are not seriously poisoned, the pesticides remain in their bodies. When birds eat these infected fish, it might get a concentrated lethal dose. DDT accumulates and cause the weakening of their eggshells and make the eggshells break before hatching. Pesticides can cause harm in two ways. They are passing down the food chain, builds up in the bodies of higher animals, including human beings. It causes sickness and sometimes even leads to death. Now let us study the ways to get high yield. Adding manure. Along with the addition of controlling pests and diseases, proper manuring is also important for agriculture. We know that plants require nutrients to grow well, which are obtained from soil. The land that are currently using has been in use for a very long time. So, if the same crop is being grown on the same land for years together, all the nutrients of the soil get decreased and the soil becomes less productive. Thus, in order to overcome this problem, farmers add manure to the soil. Manure is needed for healthy growth of plants. Manure contains phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, etc. Manure is of two types. They are natural manure, artificial manure. Click each tab to know more. Natural manure. Natural manure is also called biofertilizer. This is formed due to the decomposition of animal and plant waste. In villages, there is a separate place for this decomposition of plant and animal waste at the outskirts. Bacteria like Azotobacter and Nictobacter decompose these waste and make it nutrient rich, which support immense soil fertility and thereby provide a great health to the plants. Artificial manure. Artificial manure is also called chemical fertilizer. This manure is prepared in industries and contains incredibly high amounts of nitrogen, potash, and phosphorus. It is sold in the markets with the names of urea, DAP, superphosphate, etc. The table on the screen gives the differences between natural fertilizers and artificial fertilizers. Let us know what happens when the manure is used more. overdosage of manure. Farmers need to use fertilizers by keeping in view the nature of the soil and the crops that are to be grown. Sometimes, some of the farmers will spray excess fertilizers in order to obtain a higher quantity of crops. But this would ultimately damage soil fertility to a great extent. This in turn leads to soil pollution and water pollution. Using fertilizers extensively would end up making the soil either too alkaline or too acidic.